Hi, I'm Gary Rubenstein. I'm a teacher, a math teacher, and today is October 1st, 2020. Most of the country is doing remote learning of some form, and teachers, maybe you're struggling. So I wanted to show you my setup in this video. Things, it's hard with remote learning. You don't want with your computers and things glitch, and you're switching windows and you're trying to keep track of the students, and you're also having your own, how you're presenting your material. So I'm going to take you through my decked out setup here. And maybe you'll be able to also do some of these things. Can I switch to, let me switch my camera view. Okay, so you're wondering, what are the tools of the trade? Well, first of all, you need a big work area. I happen to be in a classroom and I have, a big table. Secondly, well, you're gonna need a computer. Hopefully it's a computer that's connected up to Ethernet so that in case Wi-Fi has troubles, but you need a computer. But not just a computer, you should also have a second monitor connected to your computer. So basically, you just buy a second monitor, and believe it or not, you just hook it up to your computer, and with a little bit of settings, take a look. I have this, and when I move my mouse over, it pops up in the other window. You need a lot of window space, so if I want to move this window here onto the other screen, I can do that. And you definitely need two screens because you're doing Zoom, so you need the students' faces on one screen, and then you need what you're presenting on the other screen. So you must have a second screen. A second screen can't cost more than like $200 or $100 even. They're connected to each other. Other tools that are useful: document camera, iPad, iPencil or Apple Pencil. People make fun of me. This is looks like a microphone from like 1940, but it's like a hi-fi mic that somebody lent me, like Good Morning Vietnam or something, I don't know. Now, that's not quite enough. I also have, this is a second computer, not connected to the first one, a fully other computer. I have that in case my Zoom goes down on one computer. I log in to Zoom on both computers, and I make my second computer a co-host. The reason why I do that is because as students come in and they have to be admitted, it's good to have over here on the second computer. This second computer is the one that's admitting students. And the second computer, if I can't fit all the faces of my Zoom students in one middle screen, my second computer, I could put the other half of the students. But the second computer is important for other like administrative stuff that I'm doing at the same time. So while I'm teaching, I'm sometimes looking at this middle screen, I'm sometimes looking at this right screen, and sometimes I'm looking at this left screen. So we're talking about two computers, full computers. One computer has two monitors attached to it, and all this other stuff. Now, I do a lot of screen sharing, and the way I have my Zoom, I have my students' faces in the middle camera, and on the left, which is the second screen of the first computer, that's where I have my web browser. Because when you do a screen share, you have choices here. I'm gonna screen this one, it says AirBeam TV, and I share it. Now, part of the reason I have this second computer, full second computer logged in, is because that second computer is seeing the same thing as my students see. So sometimes if you don't have that, you're here doing all this zooming and you're not realizing that you have the wrong screen attached, the wrong screen being shared or whatever. So I can always glance over here and I see what my students see. They see the shared screen and they see each other's faces. So I know this is a lot going on, but I do this so I can be really efficient in my teaching and I don't waste time because I don't spend time looking for windows because I have so much 3 screens and all this other stuff. Now, I teach math, and math requires a lot of graphs and things like that. So how do I display stuff? Well, a lot of my instruction, you can see it says AirBeam TV. Well, since this isn't a Mac computer, it's not that easy to share the iPad screen, because the iPad screen I'm going to use as a tablet for writing. If you have a Mac, you can just hook those two things up with a wire, and when you go to share screen, you're able to, by the way, this middle computer has tabs that I don't want the students seeing. See, this computer, I'm sharing this window with all these tabs on it, so I can quickly go from tab to tab. But there are certain things maybe I don't want students to be seeing. So on my middle computer, in addition to having everyone's face here, half the students' faces I usually put on here, I also have other things in the middle that I don't want students to see. So there's two windows open, browser windows, both have multiple tabs depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I use this other computer, this third one. If I need even more, I exit full screen and I get a browser going on that computer also. Okay, so how do I write stuff? Well, on my iPad, I have a program called Smart Notebook. And I make these called Smart, they're called notebook files. And I make it like a PowerPoint, basically. Now, how is it coming up in this window? Well, this isn't a Mac, it's a PC. That's a problem. If you're at home, you can do AirPlay, but if you're not, it's a little hard. So what I had to do was I bought a program that was called AirBeam TV. It's basically a program that you put onto your iPad, and when you put it onto your iPad and you start mirroring, a code comes up, and that code is something you type into your web browser, and then the iPad screen ends up on the browser, which you can then share with the class. So anything I do on this iPad will come up in this window, which for my students is coming up on the shared screen. This guy would probably in reality make the shared screen bigger so they can see what's going on. But since I want to see the other half of my students, I make the shared screen real small on this computer. Now with an Apple Pen, or with your finger, to tell you the truth, but you can, on this program, I can write stuff, I can annotate the graph, I can write hello. And take a look, it's happening there. Let me go in real time. A little bit of a lag. But it's pretty good for being able to write nicely. The benefit of this kind of program is that you can erase stuff easily. You can reload if you have another class that you want to use the same slides for. Now, sometimes I want to show a different window, and that's where the benefit of using this AirBeam TV. By the way, AirBeam TV costs $15 a year. If you're connecting your iPad through a wire, you have to go to change to the browser. You'd have to go like New Share over here. But if I'm using the AirBeam TV and I want to switch windows, I just have to click on a tab and that will change over here. Let me make this, and you can see stuff going on my screen. I'm so easily able to switch between the iPad and something else I might want to use. Okay, so that is the basics. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, there's this document camera here. The document camera is hooked up to the main computer, and if I want to use that in Zoom, I'm going to stop my screen share. Whoops. So now they see my face. Oh, and yes, I'm wearing these blue blocker glasses, which I highly recommend. These cost about $20, and I recommend them highly because I don't get headaches so much anymore with them. Now, where was I? Oh yes, the document camera. If you hook up your document camera to your computer, then to show the document camera, you go here to video, and one of the options says camera device, And now you see on the screen the document camera, so I can show things if I need to. You might notice stuff is mirrored. That's a little bit annoying. I try not to look at that. Oh, is it mirrored on their screen also? No, see, it's not mirrored on their screen. That's why, like I said, you have your second computer totally independent of the first logged in. Because if I'm looking here, I'm like, oh no, it's backwards. But if I look here, I see that it's actually not backwards. On my computer, it looks backwards. There's a setting for that. You go video settings, and you could unclick on mirror my video. The problem is, then when you're back to your face, it's backwards, and that might be distracting to you. Okay, so this video is just about the setup. In another video, I'll show you some of the software that I use to manage my class and teach math. But as I said, you need a computer. That's the first thing you need. The second thing you need is a second monitor to connect to the first computer. The third thing you need is an iPad with an Apple Pencil. The fourth thing that you need is a second computer altogether with its own monitor. The fifth thing that you need is a document camera, because I don't use the document camera all that much because I'm using so much with the iPad, but there are times I might want to. And the fifth thing that you need is a giant high fidelity microphone. And the sixth thing you need are blue blocker sunglasses. Okay, so that takes care of my setup. I will show you in a future video how what tools I use, like software wise. But if you have all this stuff, it's great, because over here I've got what I'm teaching. In the middle, I've got the stuff I don't want the students to see in this, and then I have the students' faces, at least half of them, in this window. Over here, I've got the second co-host. Here I can see what the students see, and I could also be letting people into the meeting or responding to chats. So throughout, I'm constantly looking at these three computers, and that's my setup. Hope you like that. I'll show you more in another video about tools I use specifically for teaching math, but they may be tools that anyone can use also.